Hi, and welcome to Horror Recapped. Today we will be examining the 2005's House of Wax. Beware, spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie begins with a woman named Trudy Sinclair creating a wax sculpture in the year 1974 as her son eats his breakfast in a high chair. They are then disturbed by an agitated boy struggling at the hands of his father as he is being maneuvered and forced onto a chair. The next scene shows the present day. Carly, a young lady, is having a conversation with her friend Paige. Their conversation is interrupted by Carly's boyfriend, Wade. Paige is quick to excuse them and joins her boyfriend Blake. Carly and Wade are immediately joined by Carly's twin brother Nick and his friend Dalton. They all set off to a football game together. Finding it difficult to continue the journey in the dark, they decide to stop and camp somewhere private, but they agree to continue their journey the following morning. Carly talks to Paige and advises her to tell Blake about her pregnancy. Paige promises to tell Blake when she is sure she is pregnant. They begin to perceive an odor, but it disappears after a while. Shortly after they settle, a strange car arrives and casts light on the surrounding, impeding their vision. Blake yells at the man, asking him to leave, but they are ignored. Nick gets up and throws a bottle, breaking the right headlight of the truck. The truck immediately retreats. They are recorded at night without their consent. Carly hears a sound and wakes up. She tries to get Wade to go along with her, but fails. Carly slowly leaves the tent and checks for anything suspicious. She gets frightened by Wade, who suddenly shows up behind her. They eventually return to the tent. The next morning, Blake tries to wake everyone up to avoid missing the match. Wade tries to start his car, but discovers his new fan belt had cut. Carly and Paige are out and perceive the familiar odor again. Carly decides to check it out and is accompanied by Paige. Carly trips and falls into a pit filled with roadkill. She screams for help, after which she sees a human hand sticking out of the huge pile of roadkill, and she becomes more agitated. Wade, accompanied by the others, quickly rushes to the rescue. A truck drives and parks right in front of the roadkill. A man steps out of the car. His name is Lester. He heads straight to the boot of the car, where some fresh roadkills are, and he throws more roadkill into the pile of already dead animals. Carly makes Lester aware of the human hand sticking out of the pile of dead animals. Lester moves forward and drags the artificial arm up, showing it to them. He tells them that he found the artificial arm by the roadside a few weeks ago. Wade asks Lester where he can get a new fan belt, and he is directed to a distance several kilometers away. Blake suggests that they get the fan belt and return to get his car. Wade is reluctant and tells Blake that he can't leave his car for fear of the man who showed up the previous night. He says he would stay with his car and Blake could get him a new fan belt. Carly volunteers to stay with Wade. Lester offers to take Wade and Carly to a close-by town called Ambrose, where they can purchase a new fan belt. The rest proceed to the game just after Nick pulls his shirt off and hands it over to Carly for a change of clothes. Wade and Carly feel uncomfortable with Lester's behavior during the trip to the town. They finally get to a town, but encounter no one. They find a gas station there and are disappointed when they are left unattended. It seems no one is in the shop. Carly gets a call from Paige. She tells Carly that they were turning back because of the heavy traffic. As they move along the streets of Ambrose, Wade feels that someone is staring at him. He turns and sees someone staring from a house. The person immediately closes the curtains the minute he realizes he's been spotted by Wade. They move around the town and then decide to ask for the whereabouts of the owner of the gas station. They are confronted by a man who talks rudely to them and also happens to be the owner of the gas station, Bo Sinclair. After a while, Bo Sinclair returns and apologizes for his behavior earlier. He asks them to wait for at least 30 minutes so he can complete what he had going on. He tells them to wait for him at the gas station, promising that he would wrap things up. Wade and Carly decide to enter a building that had the words House of Wax boldly on top. It is a wax museum. They move around the museum and discover that everything in the building was made of wax, except the dog. Carly sees a scary figure looking at her and becomes frightened. Wade leaves to survey the back of the building. Carly becomes too scared and asks that they leave immediately. Blake and the others return to the campsite. Blake gives his car key to Dalton, who is accompanied by Nick. Together, Dalton and Nick set out to pick Wade and Carly. Wade and Carly return to the gas station and wait for Bo. After a long wait, Wade decides to take a fan belt, but he can't find the perfect fit for his car. He decides to manage a size 16 immediately. Bo walks through the doors and tells Wade that he has the perfect size 15 at his home. Wade becomes suspicious and asks him if he kept belts in his home. "New orders are delivered to my house," Bo replies. They walk to Bo's house. During the trip, he tells them about the history of the wax museum and the owner. They arrive at Bo's house and Wade decides to use the restroom while Carly waits in the car. Bo tells Wade he would like to change and then grab a size 15 fan belt for his car. Wade uses the restroom and sees a room door open. He steps in and explores the room. Carly gets tired of waiting in the car and steps out. When she notices the broken headlight of the car, she instantly realizes that it's the car from the previous night. Carly rushes and presses the horn of the car to get Wade's attention. The room he's in suddenly gets dark with no form of light, and Wade is in the darkness. He tries to force the door open and is struck down by Vincent, Bo's brother. Vincent takes Wade to the basement of the wax museum, where he works. He covers Wade with molten wax. Carly tries to flee from Bo, but is caught and overpowered. He takes her to the gas station, restrains her, and glues her mouth shut. Nick arrives at the station and meets Bo. He has a conversation with him. Bo plies off the tip of Carly's fingers after she tries to escape and attempted to contact her brother from the cellar. Carly forces her lips open and screams for help. Nick hears and defends himself from Bo's attack. Nick immediately frees Carly from her restraints. Dalton explores the wax museum and wanders into Vincent's workshop. He finds Wade covered with wax coating and unable to move. Dalton tries to free Wade, but he is struck and killed by Vincent. Carly and Nick then discover that the wax sculptures are just corpses coated with wax. The corpses were visitors who had been lured into the town. They take refuge from the Sinclairs in the house. Carly notices newspaper clippings that reveal that Bo and Vincent were born as conjoined twins, but were separated by their father through medical means. The surgery left Vincent heavily disfigured. Bo and Vincent hoped to fulfill their mother's dreams of making a house of wax. Bo believed the wax figures didn't look realistic enough and manipulated his brothers into killing visitors in the hopes of making sculptures that look more realistic. Vincent kills Blake, and Paige makes a run for it, but she is impaled by him. Nick and Carly try to escape. They hide in the wax museum. There, they find Dalton's wax-coated body in the basement. After this, they are attacked by the Sinclairs. Nick sets the room on fire, leading to a building-wide inferno, while Carly beats Bo to death. Vincent runs upstairs after Carly. She tries to get him to see that what he is doing is wrong and to see his brother's manipulation. Carly and Nick succeed in stabbing Vincent, while Nick and Carly try to escape. The following day, the police arrive, and they report how the town had been abandoned for years. As Nick and Carly are taken to the hospital, they pass Lester, who might be the brother of the Sinclairs. Lester smiles and waves goodbye to them as they are driven out of Ambrose. And that's a wrap for House of Wax. We hope you have enjoyed it. If so, please click the subscribe button with notifications turned on so you don't miss a single video.